Hello again. Last time we talked, we discussed the fact that everybody's goal in life is to be happy. Nobody deliberately wants to be miserable. What makes us happy is when our desires are fulfilled, when we get what we want. Where the negative, what the Stoics call the aversions, something doesn't happen that we don't want it to happen. Problem is, most of us settle our goals, our desires, on things that are external. Like a group and a lecture I taught one time. They give me a list of what would make their lives happy, and they all said things like a nice car, or a better job, or a promotion, or a happy family, or respect in the neighborhood. Well, these are all externals. None of them were within their control. So how are they going to make sure they were happy? How were they going to guarantee that these things would always be what they wanted them to be? Well, if you select something that is external to you, you have no guarantees. You have no assurance that you will be happy and not be disappointed. Now, there are three things that are within your control. You can always affirm a true statement. Nobody can ever stop you from saying 1 + 1 is 2. Nobody can ever stop you from denying a false statement. Nobody can make you say that 1 + 1 is 3. And you're always free to act in accordance with your moral principles. If you understand that, like Socrates, you might have to drink the hemlock. But it is not the externals that control you. Epictetus gave a great example. There's a woman in Rome around the time of the Emperor Domitian. Her husband had been engaged in a conspiracy against the emperor. He was executed. She was exiled to a miserable island. She had a friend. Now, this friend is the heroine of the story. She would send her exiled companion the equivalent of care packages. Now, Epictetus doesn't say what was in them. He doesn't say how often she sent them. Doesn't mention what island she was on. But in the story, the woman is told, "Why are you bothering to send these packages? Don't you know your friend never gets them? Domitian soldiers seize them." Now, her answer was significant. She says, "I would rather that Domitian soldiers seize them than I had not sent them." It wasn't her fault that her friend didn't get the packages. She did everything she could. She sent them. She made sure that they, got on the ship and went there. She had no control over the actions of the soldiers on that island. So if her friend didn't get the packages, it was not her fault. She could still look herself in the mirror and said, "I did what I could." She could know that she'd done the right thing. She could die a happy, contented woman. She'd lived a life in accordance with her moral beliefs. Now, Stoics often point to the example of Socrates. I have to make it clear now, Socrates was not a Stoic. The Stoic school wasn't around when he was in Athens. But his trial and the manner of his death were considered the perfect examples of how a Stoic should live and die. He says in his trial, it's a very famous phrase, Epictetus quotes it several times, "Anytus and Miletus can kill me, but they cannot hurt me." Oh, they can kill his body. They can put him in prison, make him drink the hemlock. But they can't change him. They can't make Socrates be something other than what Socrates was. They'll have his corpse. They won't have his obedience. If you care about something, you're hostage to it. If that thing is external, you're hostage to someone else. If what you care about is internal, then paradoxically you're only hostage to yourself. And it's only your will that prevents you from being happy. If you learn to focus on those three things, always being willing to affirm something that's true, being willing to deny something that you think is false, and acting in accordance with what you believe to be true in the given circumstances. You're totally free. No one has any control over you. Now, next time we get together, what I'm going to discuss is a little bit about the nature of the universe, the nature of man, from the perspective of this philosophy. Metaethics, anthropology, or metaphysics, or anthropology seem like not always easy subjects, but it'll be short, it'll make sense, and I look forward to talking to you. Take care.